this. This big total kind of frontier finishing on 3 foot.
Yeah. Wait, so
This thing's all there, and it's wasteful, like can't actually get the bolts off that hold the retaining.
yeah.
And you can't get in there, I know it raises so high that.
Can you get it both in there and beat them up?
Hard to access. The welder down the road, it's got a, his shop, it's got a pit. So you can hold
Okay, I'd like to call to order this August meeting of the infrastructure committee. It's 5 o'clock. And let's first start by calling the roll. Councilor Town,
I am here.
Councilor Moore excused. Mayor Rosenquist here, and Councilor Kelly here. With that, we'll have the agenda and start with an approval of the minutes of the July 3rd, 2023 infrastructure committee. Moved by Councilor Talon, seconded by Mayor Rosenquist. All in favor? Aye. Okay, number 2, Public Works. 2.1 is a discussion of the infrastructure report.
Good evening, run through this pretty quickly. The base waterline jobs, we are in the final phases. We started what we call pressure grouting today, which is basically filling in the old asbestos water line with a full regrout. Probably gonna take about a week, and then the rest of it goes here on out. Starting to close out POs. We've all the credits for materials that we're not using, so then taken care of. So that's where you stand with that. Next item is we are doing paving, the operational activities and paving prep. So phase 2 of our road surfacing program for the year, which is going to be Jordan Angel Drive, Cogan, Olivetti, Prospect, and Section Park Ave. We are milling. We started today. Weather has been poor at best. When we were to pave, hopefully we'll start on Friday. I'm sure it's going to be pushed out into the middle of the next week. The goal is to get particularly George Angel done before schools get back in session. That's really important. So that's very important. Typical work activities, ongoing parks, beach grounds, general maintenance, a lot of catch basin manhole repair work. We have completed our hydrant flushing for the year. That was citywide. Every hydrant the city has, we went to flush. Water quality looked very good. And we had some issues late last year, but everything cleaned up nicely. Street sweeping is ongoing as is catch basin thing. Moving on to the capital work activities, we did talk about the emergency job a lot of it, the base. I'm going to hold off on Market Street and Cordelia, so Andrew can talk to those. But one item, which is on here, which is item 2.1 and I'm sorry, 2.2 and 2.3 for draft resolution is the amendment to the capital projects or slipline, whatever we really call it. We've had the project created in 2021. I think we had $150,000. We've asked to increase that to $250,000. We have been monitoring it, treating it, but it's time to get it fixed. We had a situation, I said about 3 weeks ago, we had to go there and cut. Didn't cause any damage to residences, but we were starting to get sewer backup manholes. But we spent probably 12 hours to figure these out, large roots, and now it's time to get in there, clean it, and slip line. So that's what we want to do. The contractor we're supposed to be using is a pre-bid contractor that does this specialty, and they give us a proposal to do it. Put in a little bit of buffer there. Hopefully, we'll keep the $250,000 requesting. And be able to put that project out. But it is one of the critical areas. We probably have a half dozen to 10 areas in the city of water sewer issues. This is one of the main ones. This is one that's keeping over 90. We've got a couple others we'll talk about right now, but this would be a good show for work here to start. So if everything goes through, we're looking at starting in October. Really November the latest, and probably gonna be I'd say 3 to 4 week process. Right now, I'm gonna turn over to Andrew, and he'll give you the latest on market. Well, if you have questions about the activity.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. Okay, so it's been a little while since I've been here, so, Margaret Street is going very well. Knock on wood. Right now, we are in the full depth reclamation portion of the project on Brinkerhoff. So if you drive down Brinkerhoff, there's no more sidewalks, there's no more curb, there's no more asphalt. They've torn all that out. They brought fresh subbase in. Currently, they are digging to put the drainage in, basically called curb drain. So it's drainage that goes underneath the curb. So they're installing that. They're installing their new electrical conduits for the new lights. And then we are actually looking at the end of next week, starting to install curb on Brinkerhoff. The following week, we will start doing asphalt. So Brinkerhoff will be running very quickly here within the next few weeks as far as curb, sidewalk, and then asphalt. Tomorrow we'll start doing full depth recon on Court Street. Currently, crews are installing the storm sewer on Margaret Street. They've got a couple sanitary sewer things that they have to button up. All the water main is complete, and they're almost done switching over water and sewer service lines to existing buildings. So really, we'd like to say the hard part is done. All the subsurface stuff is almost complete. So we're basically coming out of the ground completely here in the next week or two. Any questions?
Just want to say how much we appreciate all of the updates we're receiving on a weekly basis and sometimes more frequently.
As much as I can. I'm trying to keep everybody, because it kind of heads off the phone calls. If I can put a post out to let people know that, hey, we gotta shut this street down, then I'm not getting 20 phone calls of why is the street shut down. So it benefits the public and it benefits me from having a whole bunch of phone calls. So.
When we spoke a little bit earlier, you said there's gonna be some like updated information to be given out to downtown businesses, so they'll know exactly what's been done with the project so far and what they can expect to be done.
Yeah, so during the public engagement portion of the project, we had gone around and handed out groups of pamphlets to all the businesses to give to their patrons to tell them, hey, this was the Margaret Street project, this is what we were looking at doing, this is the whole public engagement portion. Since then, we haven't really updated that. So I asked CNS to put together a new pamphlet, seeing as we're kind of at the midway point of the project, basically letting people know what we've completed, what there's left to go. And the biggest thing is the timeline, because people are still under the impression that this is a 2-year-long project. Now it may go into next year a little bit as far as possibly top course of asphalt. We have some long lead items like signalization, but substantially complete by the end of this year. So that is a big one because people are still thinking that, hey, we're only doing one side of the road this year, and then next year we're coming back and doing the other side of the road. That is not the case. We will have all new sidewalk and curb and everything installed by snowfly this year. So those pamphlets basically update everybody. Myself and Kelly from CNS will be going around to businesses tomorrow to hand those out, and just chat with business owners. For the most part, we've been keeping them up to date and everything, but every once in a while they have a couple questions, so we go and talk to them.
Can you refresh our memories about what the finished product will be? Will it be a 2-lane street with spikes?
Yeah, so we've got a couple different things. So we'll go intersection by intersection. So basically from Cornelia Street to Court Street, it will be 2-way traffic. Then from
specifically on Margaret Street.
Yes, on Margaret Street. And then on Margaret Street from Court Street to Brinkerhoff Street, it will be 1-way traffic southbound. You'll basically get to where the old light is at Brinkerhoff. That light will no longer be there. It'll be a three-way stop sign. And then it'll go back to two-way traffic from Brinkerhoff to Margaret Street. So basically, anybody coming northbound from Broad Street, they will come up to Brinkerhoff Street, they will stop, and they will have to make a left-hand turn on the Brinkerhoff. They will no longer be able to go straight up Margaret Street. And that allowed us to do, to widen the road a little bit. We still are gonna have parking on both sides of the street. And that allowed us to make sidewalks a little bit bigger. So that was, a lot of that came from the public engagement portion, when we first started the project.
I remember that. I just couldn't remember exactly what the detail.
Yeah, and then Brinkerhoff and Court Street will open back up to two-way traffic.
Okay. Okay. Sounds wonderful to me. Any other questions for Mike or Andrew? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Really appreciate it. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is a draft resolution authorizing budget adjustments for general sewer and water fund. May I have a motion, please? May the room on witness, seconded by Councilor Talon, discussion. Everybody understands what these transfers are going to do? Okay. Okay, all in favor of moving this one to the regular agenda, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. All right, draft item number 2.3, which is a draft resolution revising capital project H8130.67 21 sanitary sewer. We discussed this a little bit before the meeting began, but if we could just summarize for the public what we're doing here. What is the plan?
I covered it in the previous comments, but basically we've got about 25 to 2,600 feet of 8 to 12 inch failing clay tile pipe that will be cleaned, root cut, and we're putting in a resin liner, and then that will be cured in place and then make it a full unit.
And what's the starting point for this
It'll be probably Main Mill Street.
main mill?
Okay, and then continue, it'll follow the river like we spoke previously, all the way down the end of Waterhouse Street where it turns on down.
It'll be below the dam. correct?
Yes,
Okay, and then continue all the way to Allen Street.
Yep.
And does that connect back into the sewer line on Allen Street?
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
and again, it's some of the older sewer of the city, and you know, what's dictating this procedure is location and accessibility. We cannot get to there to replace sewer, and it's also high flow sewer. A lot of movement down through there, so it is the, preferred method for this situation.
now you will pass the mobile home community on Underwood Avenue. So are they aware that this is going to happen?
They were, no, but it should not, it will not impact their service.
Okay.
So that's also the beauty of this is, and like any sewer project, even on Margaret Street, what they'll do is they'll set up bypass pumping. So they'll pump from an upstream manhole to a downstream manhole, isolate a section, line it, and just keep leapfrogging the way down the line.
Okay, and then you'll be passing through some backyards.
There'll be some backyard work, which that, when we get to that point, what we'll do ahead of time is we have to clear our right of way down through there. Make it accessible. We only really need to get to the manhole. We're working in manholes, from manhole to manhole. But we'll have to clear the right of ways where they can set up the bypass pumping through there.
Okay, and one final question from myself is this, back in 2021, it was assumed this would cost $150,000, and now it's gone up to
Yes.
$250,000. Is this a capital project? Will it be bonded? And second, why the increase?
Okay, is it a capital project? Yes, capital project. will it be bonded? That's a really question for Richard, but I know the sewer funds, are in pretty decent shape, so that would be a financial question. I would assume that we're not going to bond because sewer funds are pretty, available for this type of work. We have, I think, 3 on the capital plan, similar type. As far as cost goes, a couple of things, the scope, how much we were going to do is expanded a little bit. The obviously 2 years time has gone by, cost of materials have gone up, unit prices from this particular contractor is, I think it's not Onondaga County contract, it's a pre-bid contract, and then also, and I say go back to scope, the cleaning portion of it. How the pipe is degraded and what it's going to require for truck work to get it and get it done.
Since 2021, it's gotten worse.
It has, yes.
You guys seem to be pretty strategic in how you look at these things. Is this one of your big trouble spots, would you say?
It's probably in the top 3.
It's the biggest sewer trouble spot. It's at the top of our list.
Okay.
We have, I'm gonna say at least 20. A little over 20, what we call trouble spot locations that we checked on at least a bi-weekly basis. We have of those 20, I would say 10 that we check on a weekly basis. And we have seasonal ones that we check on a bi-weekly basis. And I say check, we check and either treat or we jet. And this would be a checking off the box, basically, of something that we can walk away from. And not have to worry about. What I think life expectancy still lining is probably 30 to 40 years.
Well, that'll drop to near the bottom when you're.
So that's the good news. The bad news is it always when it comes to the top. It brings rises and we've experienced that and we've been, fortunately, and I don't know if it's this by chance, last year with the base and the water line job. That was humongous. That was the biggest one. It's exhausting to have to just continually go out and try to maintain and patch stuff together. And a good thing was done with the city last year by doing that. Yeah. Okay, it's, I'd like to take credit that only I did it, the city did it, okay? They, the mayor enabled us and said, let's get it fixed and it allowed us to get it fixed on top of that. So,
We council would like to take a small. At least we weren't. We're all in this together.
John Montano.
And John is big thanks.
Still trying to help out.
Yeah, it's, again, this is not something we've known about it for a long period of time. I've known about it since I actually came to work for the city back when Superintendent Brody was in charge. The guys have known about it. We had maintenance on it. We even went so far as to create the capital project. It's been created. This is just an amendment to it. Make sure we can execute it. Again, it's one of those ones where, okay, and now it's time, let's get it done, so.
Is this a single source supplier or will this go out to be?
It's a single source supplier, so, and this is also gonna be good for us in terms of, typically. You can do it a couple different ways, obviously we could have a competitive bid, but on a Delaware County contract, it's a pre-bid, they have pre-bid units for slip lining. They've been talking to us for, well, probably since 2019, they approached us about this. And some other communities have done it this way, but I know the town has done it on a pre-bid, or not pre-bid, but it did version of it. And but this gives us a good sample. So 2,500 feet is really not that much pipe. You're talking, half a mile.
Right.
So we're going to try it out. If it works for us, we have 2 other candidates for this type of procedure, and we'll continue forward.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions about this particular item? Okay.
Just to be clear, right now, there are no plans to bond this work. It is currently scheduled to come out of reserve, sewer capital reserve. So that increases the total amount of 250. That's the current plan.
Okay, I think that's a good thing, as long as we have the cash needs. All in favor of moving this item to the regular?
We need a first and a second.
We need to do a
We need to, we need to take a first and a second.
May I have a motion to move this to the regular agenda? Okay, need a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, that one goes to the regular agenda in 2 weeks. Let's see, next is number 3, environmental. 3.1, we have a draft resolution to authorize stipulation agreements with the Plains County Health Department. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Please, Mayor, and second by Councilor Talon. Discussion.
So the Clinton County Health Department has identified some issues in our water system that need to be addressed. There are issues we've been aware of and we've already been planning to address, but the county wants to make sure that they do in fact happen. So the mechanism they use for doing that, one of the mechanisms is a stipulation agreement. Basically a contract that says, yeah, we're gonna do these things. There is a benefit to this. It gives us a lot of points in the WIA applications. If you have a consent order or stipulated agreement, they consider it a priority for funding. So we're in the process of getting ready to apply for phase 3 of the drinking water WIA grant financing program. So the stipulated agreement outlines the corrective actions we're going to take, provide some compliance dates, and there's no fine or anything like that. So it's basically us saying, yes, we're going to do these things.
I for one, am feeling a little distraught by that when I read it. But you're saying is, don't worry about it.
No,
It's also.
it's stuff that we want to do anyway, and it articulates things we know, like we want to have a more reliable source of water, so there's drilling wells and creating wells. And we had, Mike talked a little bit earlier about, we had dirty water issues last year, to making sure that we follow through on the plans to make sure that it's not as likely that something like that would happen again. Doing some assessments that, we want to do anyway, so. When you hear the term stipulated agreement and all that, say, oh my gosh, it's just only, but it's really, the health department. Things that we know and want to do already, to make sure we're serving the customers.
Okay. You're okay with it? I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Definitely okay.
Any other discussion about this item? All in favor of moving this item to the regular agenda, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Next item, draft resolution, that's 3.2, draft resolution to authorize a water system grant and financing application in the Water Infrastructure Improvement Act 2023.
Okay, so the environmental facilities corporation, sorry,
Second. Thank you.
ESC has opened up another round of applications to get grant money and financing. The grant money is for 60% of the eligible project costs, up to $5 million. And the financing is can be anywhere from 0% up to whatever market rate the state gets bonds at, which is probably in the neighborhood of 3%. I think it's very likely that we get something, at least get something in the middle, which is what they call a subsidized interest rate. Be half of the interest rate would be subsidized. So if the state's borrowing at 3%, we get it at 1.5. But on previous applications, we've qualified for the 0% financing. I'd like to think that we get that again, but we won't know until we go through the application process. But what this resolution does is it authorizes the application to be submitted. So there's no commitments or anything like that.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor of moving this to the regular agenda, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Next is 3.3, a draft resolution to authorize instrumentation services for the WRF and WFP. Bid award recommendation for contract number WRF 2023-04.
So we
Motion.
Okay, second. All right. John,
Each year we contract for our instrumentation and control services, it's calibration and maintenance of all the instruments and controls throughout the plants and the pump station. It's put out the bid, received one bid, and it was from the contractor that we've had for a number of years, who's been doing a really good job. So the recommendation is that they be awarded the contract.
okay. Any questions or further discussion? All in favor of moving this item, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Right. 3.4. Draft resolution authorizing Hazen Organics Management Plan change order. Motion by Councilor Talon, second by Mayor Rosenquist. Discussion.
So we have a contract in place with Hazen and Sawyer to develop a sustainable organics management plan. And one of the tasks was to do an inventory of the organics that exist around the region. The region wasn't really defined. But in our mind, it was organics that could reasonably be transported to a facility if we constructed one for treatment. During the course of doing this inventory, they encountered a higher level of effort than was anticipated. Some of it was work that I saw, that I felt that should be done. They did it and asked that be compensated for that effort.
Okay. I have to admit that I don't recall seeing this in the folder.
Is this the one that Councilor Gibbs was working on before, or is this the different?
This is something different, but there are parallels to it. I think she's been working on some food waste and other organic. So we've been trying to communicate on what she's got going on and what we're doing and seeing where those two efforts might intersect.
Oh,
Yeah.
This change orders in the amount of $2,500.
And this is, I think the contract's about 95,000, so it's really a small. They actually encountered $5,000 worth of extra work, and I talked to them about it, and they agreed that we split it if you're okay with that. So,
Sure. Okay, sounds good.
Where's this going on? Fun.
capital project, it's being funded by the sewer reserve.
Any other discussion on the side? All in favor of moving to the regular meeting? Aye. Thank you very much, John. Any new business tonight?
Yeah, just, I guess over the weekend, the splash pad was off, and you were explaining that just somehow it got turned off due to the lights that.
Yeah, so basically, when they built the splash pad, what happened was they piggybacked off of a breaker that was controlling some of the lights along Martyr Street. So when MLB showed up for us to take down the lights along Martyr Street, they didn't have, in the panel box is basically a piece of paper that tells you what breakers they were. They just shut off a couple breakers. And they missed turning one back on, which included the splash pad. So I got called Saturday night. I came in Sunday morning, realized that there was no power to the panel. Called MLB. One of MLB's guys showed up. We worked it out. And we had splash pad back on Sunday morning.
Oh, perfect, so the splash pad.
Yes,
full effect,
so the
everybody.
splash pad was back up and running Sunday for anybody who was down and about.
Causing quite a commotion on Facebook, so.
Yes.
Thank you for taking care of that.
Oh, man, what would we do without this?
A lot. People do not like that splash pad not working. It is not.
That's great. It's
Our own time on call guy got probably 5 phone calls from PD. And then MLB said that they had gotten several phone calls too. So yeah, there's quite a few people said that it was working. It's good. Yeah.
Splash pad for every car.
You sure about that?
And I'm gonna do this one off with this 5 phone calls.
Okay, members of the public are present. So I'll take a motion to adjourn. Mayor
Yeah.
Quinn, seconded by Counselor Town, all in favor? Meeting